With me now is Amit Yoran. He is the former director of U.S. cybersecurity at the Department of Homeland Security. Amit, thank you for joining us, and good morning to you. First off, I mean, how big is this breach? Tell us about the severity and who is impacted.
Well, what we know is that Clop is a very sophisticated organization. They've been in this ransomware business for some time. The estimates from the U.S. government are that north of 8,000 organizations around the world and perhaps as many as 3,000 organizations within the U.S. have fallen victim to Clop over the last 3 to 4 years.
What about regular folks? Because I'm reading that millions of people in Louisiana and Oregon may have had their Social Security numbers and their driver's license numbers stolen in this breach. So we're talking about DMVs being hacked into. What does this mean?
Well, I think what we're going to see is that this organization is used as ransomware. So if those organizations don't pay ransom to Clop, all of this private information will be released on these millions of individuals. And certainly it's concerning because it's millions of Americans and DMVs, but it's also folks whose data is collected by private companies.
And so I understand the way that this hacking group, this Russian hacking group typically operates is that they demand ransom. But when it comes to the federal agencies or the U.S. government, they're not. What does that signal to you?
Well, what Clop has said is that they are not going to hold the U.S. Federal agencies for ransom. Now, what happens with the data that they've stolen, the data that they've accessed? Are they going to simply delete it? Are they going to hand it over to Russian authorities? We do know that Russian hacking groups, which operate within Russia, do have a close relationship with the Kremlin, that they frequently share data and they frequently conduct operations on behalf of the Russian government.
Tell me what kind of information could have been exposed when it comes to the civilian side and also the U.S. government. Are we talking about sensitive documents here?
We're typically not talking about classified information, which is handled separately. However, it could be very sensitive information, not only information about individuals, as you pointed out, driver's license information, which includes their height and weight and location and where they live, things that could be used to target them for attack in the future or embarrass them in some form or fashion. These are large data transfers, so they could be research projects. It could be other sensitive, not classified, but sensitive information that these organizations use, engineering types of information, and are transferring it with partners or others with which they're conducting research.
If you're at home watching this going, okay, this is concerning, I don't want my identity stolen, what can they do to find out if they were impacted through this breach?
The good news is that we have a lot of breach notification laws which require organizations which have been breached to notify those individuals whose information has potentially been compromised, to notify them in a timely fashion. And in many instances, those individuals are also given some protection through a credit monitoring service or something which would notify them if accounts are being opened in their name. What it doesn't do is protect them from potential future abuse. So can that information be used to target them and their loved ones? I think the best thing individuals can do to protect themselves is the basics. Make sure you're exercising good hygiene, apply your patches, apply your fixes when new vulnerabilities are discovered and when patches are released, and make sure you're doing simple things like good passwords, different passwords for each site that you use.
I hate changing those passwords because I can never remember them, but there are apps for that. There are apps for everything. Amit Yoran, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Still ahead, hundreds of thousands of UPS workers are preparing